kinda sweet, kinda nice. Random Black Guy. What up, y'all? Alfie here, aka Random Black Guy, aka Chocolate Face No Makeup. Amidst to the whole corona situation, the whole debacle that is going on worldwide, like I said, a lot of films has been postponed, and right now the world is on a frenzy and it feels really crazy. But I had an opportunity to see an early screening of this film. I actually saw this film last Monday, so almost 2 weeks now, and it's kind of crazy because I wanted to do a review for this film, but I never got around to do it, especially because of the situation that it is right now in the present time. But now I have time. I have finally the opportunity to do the review, and you know what, why not do it? I know this film is also delayed, but I already seen this film, and why not do a review for this film? So this is a quick review for the film A Quiet Place Part 2. Okay, A Quiet Place Part 2 is the sequel of the film A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski. He was in The Office. He's also on a new show on Amazon Prime. What's the name of that show? Jack Reacher. Was it Jack Reacher? Jack Ryan, I think. Jack Reacher. When he debuted as a director and he gave us A Quiet Place, the first film, I was pleasantly surprised because that film is really good. I enjoyed that film a lot, man. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that film was pretty good, and John Krasinski showed me that he can be a serious actor, because I always seen him as the comedian, romantic type person, but with this film he was really serious, and I was like, okay, I can buy him as this serious, stoked father, and I really liked that film a lot. So I was pretty excited when I heard that we were going to do a sequel to that film, because the first film ended pretty bittersweet. It's kind of crazy that we got an opportunity, or I had an opportunity to see the sequel, because the sequel, we don't know when it's supposed to be released now, because the release date, or the original release date for this film, was March 20th, and right now we don't know when this film is coming out. So it's kind of crazy to know that this film is just up in the air. Once again, this film is starring Emily Blunt, Millicent Simmonds, a new cast to the film, Cillian Murphy, and Djimon Hounsou. And the plot of the film is that this is a continuation to the story about the Abbott family. With Lee Abbott now dead and the house destroyed, the rest of the family needs to venture to the unknown with the creatures everywhere, and now with a mysterious man. So yeah, that's pretty much the plot. And guys, this is a pretty solid sequel. I've liked the sequel. Do I think the sequel is better than the first one? No, I don't. I think the first one was just so much of a surprise that it just blew everybody's expectation. Everybody either like it or love that film. It's kind of hard to strike the same lightning at the same place, so I wasn't expecting this film to be better than the first one. But to me, this is a pretty solid sequel, and I think that the thing that I really like about this film is that this film feels really like a part 2 to the part 1, so you can watch those two films back to back and you can get a full understanding of this film, because like I said, the first film ended bittersweet. The sequel starts with a bang, exactly where the first film ended. And it's kind of crazy to know that, because I was so prepared for Emily Blunt's character to die in the first one. So spoilers. So when she survived and John Krasinski's character Lee died in the first one, I was like, oh no, because I liked Lee a lot. The best thing about this film, to be honest guys, is Emily Blunt. I think Emily Blunt as the mother, she is not the person to mess with at all. She is a bad freaking ass. Every time she was on the screen, she outshined everybody. She was so freaking good in this film. I was so surprised of how good she was. She is on a mission to find a home for her children because she lost the person she loves. And the second film starts with a little bit of a flashback, so you see how this destruction started. And that scene, the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it is amazing. But to me, I think Emily Blunt is just so freaking good in this film. She's so good, and everybody else is also really, really good. Millicent Simmonds, who plays the daughter, the deaf girl, she's also really, really good in this film too. Cillian Murphy as Emmett, I liked him. He's also a little bit of this thing that I did not like with this film, but I'm going to talk about it later. But I like him because he has a backstory that is pretty sad, and I felt so sorry for this character. And also, one thing that I really appreciate with this film is the direction by John Krasinski. I think the direction here is better because it feels so much more rich, if you know what I mean. Because the first film, I don't know how much the budget was, but it feels like the sequel has a little bit more money. It shows the CGI on the creature is better here than the previous one. And also, you know, a lot of shots are so much beautifully done, because I think that in the first film they filmed in like 3 different locations. I really like that this film felt a little bit more expanded, a little bit more bigger, and yeah, a little bit more grand. So the direction here is really, really good. And also one thing that I enjoyed the hell with John Krasinski's direction is that he has an eye for when it comes to the tension, when it comes to the scary stuff, because this film doesn't have a lot of jump scares. What he does great, what I think that he really perfected here, is playing around with the sounds and playing around with the lights. Some of the shots is really, really dark, so you start to see stuff and you're not sure if the creatures are there, because this film doesn't have a lot of music. It's just so subdued and so quiet, and that is the thing that really, really scares you. What do I also think about the scary elements or the scary parts in this film? I think that it delivers, it does. I think that the first 2 acts is, you gotta be a little bit prepared that the first 2 acts is a little bit more of a drama rather than a horror film, even though this film's genre is a horror. I think that the way that John Krasinski builds story, it just feels so much more relatable and real, even though, you know, this film has a lot of creatures and monsters and stuff like that. It feels more real, because how are you going to deal with losing somebody really close to you? And yeah, this film's theme is about death, about grief, about moving on after losing somebody, and I like that the drama in here is better actually than the horror. Even though the horror is good, I think the drama outshines the horror because it feels so relatable and it feels so real that you can't help yourself to just want to know more about these characters. That's why I think that the first 2 acts is the best part about this film. Even though the 3rd act is good, it never hits the same beat as the first 2 acts. If you guys want to see this film for Djimon Hounsou, all I gotta say is that his character, he is good in this film, but it's not in this film a lot, even though his character reminds me so much of a character from the game The Last of Us, and that is all I can say. That is the best thing about the film, and what I really enjoy about this film. So when it comes to the stuff that I did not like that much with this film, is that okay, the kid, I don't remember his name, but the younger brother, he's pretty irritating in this film. He was in the previous one. I don't know why, but he just grind my gears every time he said stuff. Every time he wanted to decide, I was like, what are you goddamn doing, kid? Just listen to your mom. I know that they're trying to do the typical teenager kids being rebellic. I know that. I know. But it's just so goddamn too much, and it becomes irritating. It really does. And in the end, you just pissed off. And also another thing that I did not like with this film, and that is what I said before about the character of Emmett, is that Emmett as a character, his backstory, it is really sad. But don't come with your pitchfork, don't burn me. But listen, he feels more like a plot device for Emily Blunt's character rather than a fleshed out character. And I know that you sometimes need a person like this, a person that will make this the protagonist go from A to B. I know that, but it was just too obvious. But some people will like it, or some people will not like it, and I was in the same group as disliking that. But that's just how I feel. And my last bad thing is the third act. The third act becomes a little bit the same as the first film, and you gotta be prepared for that. And if you did not like the third act in the first film, then you're probably not gonna like the third act in here too, because I think that the third act is a little bit more bigger and a little bit more bolder and out there. But to me, I like that quiet times. Sorry for the pun, but I really like the quiet times when you really get to know more about these characters, when you really see the plot evolves rather than this bang big in your face third act that I thought was just pretty lackluster. But yeah, I can't help myself to say that the two first acts it is amazing. If the third act ended like the second act, then this film would probably be in my top 10 list of the best films of this year. So yeah, even though the first film to me is better, this is a pretty good follow-up from a film that I think a lot of people was just so goddamn surprised of. So my rating of A Quiet Place Part 2, I give A Quiet Place Part 2 3.3 out of 5. Yeah guys, this is a pretty solid sequel to the previous film. The acting is great from everybody, but to me, Emily Blunt is amazing. She is so freaking great in this film. The horror elements is good, but to me the drama outshines the horror, man. The drama in here is amazing. And once again, a solid direction from John Krasinski. So I recommend you guys to see it when it comes out, or whenever it comes out. Yeah, so yeah, 3.3 out of 5 for Quiet Place Part 2. Anyways guys, what do you think about Quiet Place Part 2? It's kind of crazy to say what do you think about Quiet Place Part 2, because I know a lot of people hasn't seen it yet. So yeah, what do you think about it? I guess you're probably gonna see this review when this film comes out, whenever it comes out. Write your comments down below, whatever you want to say. Just type your stuff down below, okay? And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell, so every time I upload a new video, you will be the first to see it. My name is Alfie, aka Random Black Guy, aka Chocolate Face No Makeup, back in my element. And it feels so good. And that was my, I guess, a quick review for the film A Quiet Place Part 2. Until next time guys, I'll give you out there. Peace. Random Black Guy.